back to the deep dive. Just a reminder, we're operating as AI data assistants for the Mystery Quest team.
Right. And our task today, it's pretty specific. We're running the deep data stack against some major paranormal cases.
Yep, the goal is finding the top 5 most believable ones. We're using strict criteria, witness credibility, consistency, actual documentation.
Exactly. This isn't just about spooky campfire tales. It's about filtering for evidence integrity for the team's real or hoax feature on their website.
So we're approaching this with, open-minded skepticism, focusing on the really unusual details and giving each a preliminary believability score out of 5.
Okay, let's see what the analysis pulled up. These are some heavy hitters in the spectral world.
First up, it looks like the Enfield Poltergeist. Late 70s London. Everyone kind of knows this one, right? The Conjuring 2 movie.
Oh yeah, huge pop culture footprint. But the raw data, it's compelling because of the sheer volume and, importantly, the duration. Yeah, this wasn't just a one-off weird night. We're talking phenomena stretching over 18 months and more than 30 witnesses.
30. Including who?
Well, that's the key. It includes police officers, like actual cops submitting reports. They documented furniture moving by itself. That kind of third-party official witnessing really bumps the consistency score.
And wasn't there something really bizarre, like a voice?
Yes. The disembodied voice. The gruff one they called Bill Wilkins.
Right. That's the detail that always stuck with me.
And here's why it matters for the data. Bill, speaking through the 11-year-old girl Janet, gave specific details about his death. Said he had a hemorrhage, died in the armchair downstairs.
Okay. So just claims, though.
Well, that's the thing. Later, they found the actual coroner's report for a William Charles Wilkins. He died in that house, 1963, exactly as described. Hemorrhage in the chair.
Whoa. Okay, that's a pretty solid data point match. Hard to explain away.
It definitely lifts the case.
Yeah.
But there's also a huge skeptical file attached to this one, right? A lot of debunking efforts.
Yeah, didn't Janet admit to faking some stuff, like bending spoons?
Correct. She was caught on camera doing things like that. Admitted pranks. And critics pointed out the voice sounded a lot like ventriloquism. Plus, the famous levitation photos.
What about those?
Well, the skeptic Joe Nickel argued they likely just show her jumping off the bed pretty energetically. She was quite athletic, apparently.
So wait, if she admitted faking some things, how does it still score high? Wouldn't that just tank the credibility?
Normally, maybe. But our scoring prioritizes the unconnected witness reports. We still have police and journalists documenting things like chairs moving when Janet wasn't even in the room or was demonstrably not involved.
Ah, okay. So the external verified reports kind of outweigh the admitted pranks by the central figure.
Precisely. The signal from those official reports is strong enough to cut through the noise of the fakery.
Got it. So the score?
Enfield gets a believability score of 4 out of 5. The sheer volume of that third-party documentation is statistically significant.
Okay, a strong start. Let's shift gears now. Moving back in time, 2 historical icons. First, the Bell Witch, Tennessee, early 1800s.
The Bell Witch. Less police reports, obviously, but fascinating for its community-wide validation. This wasn't just whispers. It was documented harassment of the Bell family. Physical attacks, voices.
And the whole community witnessed it.
According to the historical accounts, yes. Neighbors reported hearing and seeing things over several years. It became deeply embedded in local folklore, almost like a shared social phenomenon. It was even supposedly involved in John Bell's death.
So the consistency comes from that shared community experience, that collective belief almost.
Exactly. The fear itself seemed to reinforce the narrative across the community. It's a different kind of consistency, more sociological, but powerful in its own right.
Okay, now let's jump across the pond. The Brown Lady of Rainham Hall, England. This one has a photo, right? That's the big deal here.
Absolutely. Lady Dorothy Walpole, supposedly haunting the staircase. People described her, empty eye sockets, brown dress, creepy stuff. But the legend exploded because of that 1936 photo.
Taken by Captain Provan and Indre Shira, it's probably the most famous ghost photo ever.
It really is. And here's the interesting part for our analysis. Despite nearly 90 years and countless attempts to debunk it, it's still debated.
How so? I mean, old photos, double exposures, dust. Lots of ways to fake things back then.
For sure. And those are the common explanations offered. Light leaks, smudges, intentional fakes. But the image itself, that translucent figure on the stairs, it just resists a definitive, easy debunking, especially given the clarity for its time.
So the photo plus the centuries of stories before the photo gives it weight.
Correct. The visual evidence is key, but it lines up with a long-standing specific legend.
Okay, scores for these 2 historical giants.
Bell Witch gets a 3.5 out of 5. Strong community factor, but age makes hard data scarce. Brown Lady also gets a 3.5. That iconic photo, hard to fully dismiss, carries a lot of weight.
All right, moving into more modern territory now. Cases involving, like, intense shared experiences, less folklore, more immediate trauma. Let's start with the Phantom Mustang.
This one's chilling because it's so specific and tightly timed. A couple driving remote road, nearly forced off by a reckless Mustang. They're shaken up, obviously. High adrenaline state.
Okay.
Minutes later, further down the road, they see the exact same Mustang parked near where they were heading. Driver's door open. They just figure the jerk parked carelessly.
If that wasn't the case.
No. The next morning, they find out the driver of that Mustang had actually crashed, went off the mountain about 100 yards from where they had the near miss, and died.
So they saw the parked car after the fatal crash had already happened.
Exactly. The sighting occurred in that impossible window after the driver was deceased. That specific temporal link between the shared sighting and the verified tragedy gives this one huge weight.
Wow. Okay. That immediate shared vision tied to a confirmed event?
That's powerful. Very. Now, related to that idea of intense environments, let's talk about the Skirvin Hotel in Oklahoma City, the NBA ghost story.
Right. I've heard about this. Teams refusing to stay there. What's the specific data point here?
Consistency of manifestation. The most famous is the sound of a crying baby. Supposedly the ghost of a maid named Effie and her child has been reported for years by lots of different people, including these high-profile athletes.
Okay, but reports can be just, suggestion or nerves. Is there anything more solid?
Well, there's at least one documented instance where the crying was so persistent and seemed so real that hotel staff, checking security footage, thought they saw an unattended child in the hall and actually called the police.
They called the cops based on the ghost baby crying.
Based on what they perceived on camera, yes. That moves it from just guest stories to an actual institutional response based on a perceived anomaly.
Interesting. So, connecting these two, the Mustang shows how sudden trauma might trigger something. The Skirvin suggests maybe sustained stress, like road games, and the hotel's reputation keeps the door open for these recurring things.
That's a key psychological angle, yes.
Yeah.
Research shows high arousal states like extreme fear or intense pressure can heighten the sense of being watched and make people more prone to seeing patterns or anomalies.
So the fear or stress doesn't create it, but maybe makes you more likely to perceive it if something is there.
Potentially. It primes the pump, so to speak. It makes the observations feel more real, more intense, and more consistent across witnesses in that state.
Okay, scores. The Phantom Mustang, with that tight timeline and verifiable link.
It gets our highest score, 4.5 out of 5.
Wow. And the Skirvin.
The Skirvin gets a solid 3 out of 5. The high-profile witnesses and the consistent specific reports, plus that police call incident, give it decent standing.
All right, let's recap the top 5 then. We had the Phantom Mustang at 4.5, Enfield Poltergeist at 4, Bell Witch and Brown Lady tied at 3.5, and the Skirvin Hotel at 3.
Yep. And notice the common thread, even across centuries. Sustained, consistent testimony, often from multiple unconnected people. That's the pattern that's harder to dismiss statistically.
So what's the takeaway for the Mystery Quest team? The most believable stories aren't just vague feelings. They leave behind something specific, right? A matched coroner's report, a photo that resists debunking, a shared vision tied precisely to a tragedy.
Exactly. Which leads to a final thought, really, for you, the listener, to consider. Is it possible that intense shared trauma, like that Mustang near miss, could actually maybe generate some kind of energy? Or briefly, thin the veil?
Thin the veil, like allowing a glimpse of something else, especially when you're already in that heightened state of arousal.
Could that intense emotion momentarily open a window too? Well, something overlapping our reality is a provocative question raised by cases like the Mustang.
Definitely unsettling that our own shock or fear could be a factor. Okay, well that wraps up this particular Mystery Quest AI investigation.
And remember, this deep dive, it's really just scratching the surface. There's always more data to analyze.
Which is where you come in. We need your input. Head over to the website and cast your vote. Tell us which of these 5 stories you think deserves a full on-the-ground field investigation by the Human Mystery Quest team.
Let them know which reality boundary you want them to push next. Go to www.mystiqst.com.
That's mystiqst.com. Make your voice heard.
Let us know what you think.
Until our next deep dive, keep questioning everything.